Fantasy Football Fanatics podcast with your hosts Griffin Palmer, CJ Hickman, Jason Cabrera, and Ryan Mitchell.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the show. It is Friday, June 22nd. This is the Fantasy Football Fanatics podcast, the official podcast of thefantasyfootballfanatics.com. I'm your host, Griffin Palmer, joined by absolutely nobody. It is a kind of a surprise show. Jason had conflicts. We found out about that earlier in the week. CJ, unfortunately, a little under the weather, so here I am yet again by myself. The show must go on, and I'm going to push through. And like what happened last time this happened, I think we're going to do a little bit of a mock draft. It's what you guys always want us to do anyway. I'm going to go ahead and do it. It's an easy way to fill the show for you guys, get you guys some current updated information, see how things have changed. But I think I'm going to do it with a twist. Now, to peel back the curtain here, I was planning on doing a mock draft this show anyway. If you were here on Tuesday's show, which, by the way, if you haven't heard that show, go back and download that, listen to that. Really good stuff. By we, I mean Jason and I, we broke down a lot of contrarian fantasy football strategies, some of the popular theories, a lot of things that you hear floating around on various websites, podcasts, publications, things of that nature. We broke down how valid some of them may or may not be, the pros and the cons to each one. Well, we were going to do a mock draft for each one of us, and we did this last year, and everybody loved it. We picked one of those draft strategies, and we stuck to it no matter what we wanted to do. We saw how our teams ended up at the end of the draft, and then we decided which one we liked the best. Well, clearly it's hard to do that when there's not three of us here, so I think we're going to try and push that. I don't think we're going to have the whole gang together on Tuesday, so hopefully next Friday we're going to do that draft. So buckle up. It's a lot of fun. In the meantime, I'm going to do a mock draft today, and what I'm going to do is something that I've always been intrigued by, and we get this question from time to time, and we always shoot it down. We always say, no, don't follow strict lists because they are in a tunnel. They're in a vacuum. Not in a tunnel. They don't take into account what's going on with your team, with the draft, this, that, the other. Now, this is like, for instance, if you were to take just a printout of somebody's top 200 list and draft off that, the highest player available is the guy you take. I'm not going to go that crazy here, though that might be fun, but I just don't know how that works out because at some point you're going to have to deviate because you're going to have to get certain positions. So I don't want to end up having to do, like, if it just magically works out that I get running back in the top 8 rounds and I don't have any wide receivers or anything else, it just doesn't make sense. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to a very popular fantasy football website, which has very, very constantly updated ADPs, average draft positions. I'm going to take those ADPs, not our rankings, not what I want, not what I like. I'm going to take those ADPs, and based on the highest player available, based on their average draft position, so this is amongst all of you, everyone out there mock drafting right now, I'm going to see what my team looks like when it's all said and done, and then break it down, talk about it a little bit. Definitely probably recap it more after I've had a chance to diagnose the entire draft on Tuesday's show. That'll probably be the warm-up, but we're going to do it, see what our team at least comes out as, and maybe do some quick hits. It should be a lot of fun. I'm excited because I don't know how this is going to turn out. Theoretically, because it's ADP, it should be good, but if you've been following our show at all the last month, we've been talking about a lot of bust candidates, a lot of people who are being overhyped, and so I'm worried. I'm really, really worried I might end up with a bunch of those players that I'm going to hate my team. So let's see what happens if we stick to a list instead of to our guns. And this is, I'm not going to say it's a contrarian strategy, but it is a theory that you hear. So in theory, this is something we could have talked about on Tuesday's show. So I guess in a way I am doing a contrarian strategy, but I wouldn't view it that way because this is based on something that, the average of the masses. So it should be fun. Before we get to that, make sure you guys subscribe wherever you are listening, whether it be on iTunes or, the Apple Podcast app, whatever they're calling it now, Google Play, Stitcher, Podcast Addict, YouTube. We are all over the internet. More spaces and availabilities and publications coming soon. Just search for The Fantasy Football Fanatics or The Fantasy Football Fanatics Podcast. You'll probably find us. If you want to support the show, get yourself bonus content, help us keep doing what we're doing, help us bring you these titles, and get some cool perks, which should be coming soon. I want to talk about it. I can't talk about it until it's there. Head over to patreon.com/TheFantasyFootballFanatics. Get yourself all those bonus perks. Help us keep doing what we're doing. Again, greatly appreciate that. If you cannot go over there and support the show financially, which it doesn't take much, just a couple bucks. We understand. Everybody's on different walks of life, and there's no judgments here. If you want to support the show in other ways, easiest way to do so, head to wherever you are listening to my voice right now, iTunes, Google, whatever. give us a rating, give us a review. Hopefully it's 5 stars. If not, hey, we like the criticism. We love the feedback. We love to be able to grow with you guys. And we've been doing the show. This is show 222. We've been around the block once or twice, and we're happy to take the feedback and grow. If you guys are loving the show, let us know. Let us know what you like. And, of course, submit your questions very easily. You can submit them via Twitter, is at the FF Fanatics. So that's 3 Fs, at the FF Fanatics. You can follow me individually also, GPalmerFFF. You can also submit your questions to thefantasyfootballfanatics@gmail.com. We're on Facebook. We are all over the place. Submit your questions. We're really good at answering them. And if you have a question, now's the time to get it in, guys, because once we hit the season, everything's happening all at once. Everyone's asking questions. It becomes chaos. So if you have questions, right now is a good time to do so. Highly recommended. And with that, let's move into some top headlines from around the league. Only 2 headlines that were really worth talking about right now. For starters, this is a big one. This one is going to have some ramifications across fantasy circles, and that is we go to Tampa Bay, which by the time you're listening to this, maybe this is old news, but as of this recording, this news is just kind of breaking. Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback Jameis Winston is planning to be suspended for the first 3 games of the season for violating the league's personal conduct policy. Yikes. Now, before you start speculating on, wait, what did he do? What happened? He didn't do anything. Well, he did, but not recently. This goes back to a charge in March of 2016. So we're going back over 2 years now. Now, you may have heard this story. This was kind of a relatively big story back then. He was in trouble with a popular taxi service, transportation service known as Uber. I'm sure we've all heard of it in this day and age. It's 2018 for groping reportedly the crotch of a female driver. The charges after an investigation were dismissed. There were no charges by the NFL or the person or Uber or anything. He was banned from using the service Uber, but it's all in the past, way back. The reason this is being brought up now is because he failed to inform his team on it when it happened. So this kind of came to a head, I guess, through the Uber side. I'm trying to remember how the story played out because it was years ago. And the reason that this is kind of now possibly resulting in a suspension is because there's a new policy. This policy was not in effect when the incident happened, which is leading a lot of people to be, I mean, obviously some people are, if you believe he's a terrible person and you side with the driver here, I mean, a lot of people are pretty happy that there's finally judgment or victory on that side, or whatever the term I'm looking for is. A lot of people are also very upset because there were no charges, everything was dropped, and now he's being penalized for a policy that was not in place when it happened. Now, it's not clear as of this recording whether this is 3 games post-appeal or if he's going to be able to appeal it. Maybe they'll knock a game or 2 off. It's too early to tell, but obviously this has massive ramifications for Mike Evans, Deshaun Watson, Chris Godwin, a guy I've been just waiting to break out, Adam Humphries on the wide receiving core, Cameron Brate, O.J. Howard, obviously a big knock there, and this will affect the running game because we all think Ronald Jones is going to be a big part of this offense. Jaquiz Rodgers, Peyton Barber, they're going to stack the box against these guys because you know who's backing up Jameis Winston? Ryan Fitzpatrick. Fitzmagic is back for at least 3 games. We'll see what it actually ends up being, but this is a story to definitely keep our eye on because this will affect the first 3 games of your fantasy season. That's a decent chunk of time, and since it's a quarterback, it impacts a lot of fantasy players. So we will monitor this as we go forward. Could push a lot of these guys further down into your draft, so maybe get some of these guys at really good values, but obviously we have to wait and see how it all plays out. We'll know more probably by our next recording. Let's also head over to the wide receiver position, where Cowboys reporter Marcus Mosher reports that wide receiver Allen Hurns was the team's, quote, clear-cut number 1 wide receiver through spring practices, end quote. To this, I say something that I say quite often when there are reports that I feel are obvious, and that is, duh. A lot of reports have been suggesting this as well, and this was kind of our expectation all along, looking at the talent that was there. Obviously, Terrence Williams, Dante Thompson, Tavon Austin, who we don't know if he's going to actually play wide receiver or running back because we've heard both. They paid a good chunk of change to bring in Allen Hurns. Allen Hurns has been a 1,000-yard receiver with Blake Bortles as his quarterback. We made this story that those targets are going to go somewhere. Volume's got to go somewhere. Someone's got to catch the ball. So all of this circulates, and it's probably going to be the guy that they paid to bring in this offseason, Allen Hurns. Currently, he's not listed as a starter, but that's just because these depth charts are not even remotely current. I'm expecting him to be a starter. Cole Beasley, Michael Gallup, a rookie that we all really like. We think they're all going to work in. I think Terrence Williams' time is more or less done. He'll play out of necessity. Dante Thompson will have a role, obviously, from Buffalo. Tavon Austin, I think they'll use creatively. But I think Allen Hurns is going to be the number one guy on this team. I've been saying that for months now. So this is just it reaffirming that, and I think solidifying where he's going in drafts. So, yeah. Allen Hurns, a guy that maybe you guys want to keep your eye out for. It could be just a really sneaky pick because this is a guy people are going to sleep on because they're going to hear the name Allen Hurns and be like, ugh, I don't want that. Yeah, anybody else can have that. But, I mean, he's not going high. You can get a guy who's going to be a number one wide receiver in this league on the team, not for fantasy, maybe not, obviously not among wide receivers, as we talk about. A true number one. No, not that, but a number one target on an offense as a mid-9th round pick right now, guys. Now, that will probably move up. I would certainly hope and assume. But, hey, if you're drafting soon, you could be getting Allen Robinson. Oh, my God. Allen Hurns really, really late. We're talking about right before late round upside picks. So just something to keep an eye out for. And with that, those were the two stories that I thought were really worth talking about. So let's move into it. Let's go to our ADP mock draft. So the way this is going to work, I have the average draft positioning from a very popular fantasy football website. I won't specify which one because I want to do other ones and keep it interesting. And I have randomly queued into a actual live mock draft. So I have drafting in the 6th spot, which is what I was randomized, and the draft is officially underway. So again, no matter what I want to do, I'm going to go based on what's in front of me, but I'm not going super extreme. I'm going to still go position by position. If I think my team needs a running back or a wide receiver, I'm going to have to pick whichever the highest rated one is based on current average draft positions, but I'm going to go that way because, I feel like if I just go straight down a list, I'm going to lose my mind. So let's see how it turns out, and who knows, maybe we'll do another one. Maybe it'll be on Patreon where I will literally draft off of average draft position like it's a top 200 list and just go from there. So, as you would expect, Todd Gurley, Le'Veon Bell, Ezekiel Elliott, David Johnson all went. So Antonio Brown went with the 5th pick. At the 6th pick, I'm staring at what is a very interesting situation. Alvin Kamara, a guy who is very polarizing, who Jason thinks is going to be a bust, and CJ thinks he was a little bit more torn on than I expected him to be, but he likes the upside of Alvin Kamara a lot. I am probably the biggest believer in him, especially with all the stuff going on with Mark Ingram. But also right next to him is Saquon Barkley, a guy who, honestly, if I was picking right now, I would be really torn because I think, obviously, Saquon Barkley is going to be a bell cow workhorse 3-down back. Alvin Kamara is going to be in a similar role in a very explosive offense. He's going to get a lot of volume, but I expect him to be spelled more frequently. So you can make a ceiling floor argument here. I think Saquon Barkley is the much better running back as well, but in a worse offense. So I would honestly love to see how my team shakes out with Saquon. But let's look over at the ADPs, and my average draft position says that at running back, oh, there it is. Alvin Kamara is the highest rated running back. So, therefore, Alvin Kamara will be on my team. And here I'm already making choices that are not the ones I necessarily want to make. I would happily take him here, but I want to see what it's like with Saquon. But Alvin Kamara on my team. Let's see. DeAndre Hopkins went as the number 2 wide receiver. Very interesting. Let's see. Behind him, Kareem Hunt. Saquon Barkley did go. So, Saquon Barkley went 2 spots later. So, he's very safely in the back of the first. Melvin Gordon, Leonard Fournette, and Odell Beckham Jr. round out the first round. So we have 3 wide receivers and, wow, 9 running backs all in the first. And I don't expect that to be abnormal, especially now with the Mike Evans news. This is going to push him down. A lot of people are very torn on Julio Jones, Michael Thomas, A.J. Green, Keenan Allen. A lot of those people think that they're very concretely second-round picks. I'm among them. You'll see Julio Jones goes the number 1 wide receiver in mock drafts and in real drafts, but just Michael Thomas, I also probably expect to probably be a first-rounder when it's all said and done, but we'll see. There's a lot of talent that's now off the board. So let's see. Stalled for a little bit into the second round. Julio Jones, Michael Thomas, Dalvin Cook, Jordan Howard, A.J. Green, and Keenan Allen. They all went. So now I'm going to be fluid here. I've got my 1 running back. I've got my, let's see if I was to go either way. So my highest rated on this board, Devontae Adams, Michael Thomas, Doug Baldwin. Let's see if I look at current ADPs, highest rated guy is, ooh, really? No, that can't be right. Is it really Josh Gordon? Hold on. Where's Josh Gordon on this thing? That's very interesting. So Devontae Freeman is the highest. Wait, no, LaShawn McCoy. Did LaShawn McCoy go yet? No, LaShawn McCoy is the highest rated running back, and then it's Devontae Freeman. But this website that I'm drafting off of has them flipped. Did I miss? So let me see. Antonio Brown, DeAndre Hopkins, Odell Beckham Jr., Julio Jones have all gone. Devontae Adams. Oh, no, Devontae Adams is on the board. So I can either grab LaShawn McCoy or Devontae Adams right now. The number one wide receiver in a Aaron Rodgers-led offense where the other number one wide receiver is now gone, or a running back that I'm very worried is going to be a bust candidate. I'm going to go with Devontae Adams here. So Devontae Adams, I now have my number one running back, my number one wide receiver. Let's see here. All right, so Devontae Adams went with the next pick, LaShawn McCoy, Christian McCaffrey, Jerick McKinnon, and Amari Cooper. Top of the third, T.Y. Hilton, Rob Gronkowski, a tight end off the board, Mike Evans, Adam Thielen, and Joe Mixon. So at the wide receiver position, we have Doug Baldwin, Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs are the highest ones that are shown in the draft client. At running back, Kenyon Drake, Alex Collins, and Derrick Henry. So let me look over at ADPs and see what is available out there. I see Christian McCaffrey, which I think was already taken. Yes, he was. Okay, there it is. Derrick Henry is out. Are there any of these other guys above him? No. So Derrick Henry would be my choice if I was to draft based off average draft positions. At wide receiver, who would I have to take? I would have to take Doug Baldwin. So let's see. Would I rather have Derrick Henry or Doug Baldwin? That's really tough. I don't really want either of those guys. I know there's a lot of people out there that are firm believers in both of these guys, and it is a very, very credible argument, and one that I am completely okay with you guys backing. It's just not really one that I'm supporting. Hold on, let me check something. Actually, that's not true at all. The highest rated one, a guy who's all the way down on the board. Okay, I missed that. Josh Gordon. All right, that makes it a little bit more interesting. So do I go Josh Gordon, who I think will be a number one receiver in an offense with a lot of weapons and a running system and a quarterback system that is very run dependent. There's probably not going to be a lot of volume to go around, but he's a freak athlete, or Derrick Henry, a guy who I've openly said is a bust candidate. Now, I've also said that I would always pass on Derrick Henry and probably grab Dion Lewis later on because it's a better value because Dion Lewis is generally going in the 6th round. But, man, running back is a tougher to fill position. Dion Lewis is known to be hurt. Derrick Henry in the back of the 3rd is a value that I am more okay with than when we were debating him in the back of the 2nd. I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to grab Derrick Henry as my 3rd round pick. Let's see. Derrick Henry, where are you? There you are. You are on my team. This is not the easiest thing I've ever done because the lists don't sync up. That's the difference between various websites, ADP, and draft clients. So let's see. Travis Kelce, another tight end. Mark Ingram still going in the middle 3rd. That's kind of amazing to me. Josh Gordon did go. Okay, so he was hidden on this website, but I mean the client drafted him. Tyreek Hill, Doug Baldwin, and Aaron Rodgers back of the 3rd. Still the first quarterback off the board, which I like. I haven't seen anyone reach into the 2nd round for Deshaun Watson yet, which is good. Let's see. Top of the 4th, yet another tight end in Zach Ertz. Kenyon Drake did go. Stephon Diggs, Juju Smith-Schuster, Larry Fitzgerald, and Darius Geis are all gone. So now I have 2 running backs, 1 wide receiver, so I can start looking to grab a bench running back, which I'm always for grabbing a bunch, or I can try and get an upside wide receiver. There's a lot of names I like that are still out there. The ones that top the list on this website are Alshon Jeffrey, Allen Robinson, Demaryius Thomas, Golden Tate, Brandon Cooks, Marvin Jones. All guys that I really like. Let's see what the highest rated guy is based on current ADPs. Let's see. I have to look down. It looks like it is. Is that accurate? Brandon Cooks. Let's see. Above him is. Oh wait. Did Juju go? Oh, man, Juju Smith-Schuster is going ahead of Brandon Cooks right now. I did not know that. I'm learning stuff. Oh, no, okay, he did go. Okay, that explains that. I was going to say, where is he on this draft client? All right, so it looks like I'm going Brandon Cooks because I don't see Al Robinson. Alshon Jeffrey's going behind him on ADP. Doug Baldwin was drafted. Tyreek Hill was drafted. All right, well, the judges have spoken. Brandon Cooks is now on my team. My team is getting a little boom bust. Brandon Cooks on my team. So to recap my team, because I know I'm kind of jumping around a little bit. I'm not going to say I'm rambling, but I kind of am, like a crazy person. I have Alvin Kamara and Derrick Henry as my running backs. Young guys, some question marks surrounding them, but the upside is undeniable. At wide receiver, I have Devontae Adams and Brandon Cooks. Also, possibly boom bust. Young guys. Debatable outcomes. I've got a lot of polarizing players so far. I can already tell you nothing against any of these guys, but maybe not the way I would have gone. So let's see. Al Robinson went with the next pick. Rashad Penny, Jay Ajayi, Marvin Jones, and Alex Collins are at the end of the fourth. The top of the fifth, we have Cam Newton, Alshon Jeffrey, Jarvis Landry, Demaryius Thomas, and Ronald Jones II, Tampa Bay Buccaneers rookie running back. So in the fifth round, I am looking at running back, because I'm not looking at quarterback. I think that's understandable for anyone who's been with the show for any period of time. Maybe CJ would be at this point. Maybe Jason would be, but definitely not me. So at running back, I'm looking at Lamar Miller, Dion Lewis, Sony Michel, Royce Freeman are the top ones on the website. At wide receiver, it is Golden Tate, Michael Crabtree, Devin Funches, Robert Woods. And since it's a flex position, I can go either way. My gut makes me really want running back because I think that dries up quicker than wide receiver does. So I think I'm going to lean that way. There's some guys that I like here. Let's see who's going the highest at the running back position. Let's see. Rashad Penny is gone. I'm looking for Lamar Miller, Dion Lewis, or Sony Michel based on what I'm looking at right now. It looks, Sony Michel is the highest of the group. Dion Lewis going about a round later on average. Where's Lamar Miller? Oh, no, Lamar Miller is going higher. Okay, so Lamar Miller on average is going as the seventh pick in the fourth round. I'm going to be picking Lamar Miller, and I made this argument during Tuesday's show, I think it was. Or was that last Friday? Either way, it was Friday because we were talking about bust candidates. I didn't think in the fourth round Lamar Miller was really a bust candidate, so getting him in the fifth round, I will take that all day as my flex running back because the upside is very, very good. So, yeah, Lamar Miller on my team. You know what? That turned it around. I really like my team now. Deshaun Watson went. Okay, there he is. So he was the third quarterback off the board. Cam Newton going ahead of him. Very interesting. Russell Wilson, Tom Brady, so a little bit of a quarterback run there. Then Jimmy Graham, Golden Tate, and Dion Lewis. At the wide receiver position, we have Robert Woods in the sixth. Evan Ingram, another tight end. Carson Wentz, coming back from injury. Jordy Nelson, new home, though possibly some clarity with the Martavis Bryant news. Rex Burkhead and Sony Michel all did go. So now I'm looking at, to recap, Royce Freeman is still there. Tevin Coleman, Marshawn Lynch at running back. At wide receiver, I can still get Michael Crabtree, Devin Funches, and Pierre Garçon. So let's see where we can find these guys. So Royce Freeman, Tevin Coleman, Marshawn Lynch. Where are these guys going? The highest rated one is Royce Freeman as the seventh pick in the fifth round on average. Where's Marshawn Lynch going? Did I miss Marshawn somewhere? Huh. Is Marshawn Lynch not reflected on this website? No, okay, there he is. Okay, first pick in the sixth round. I'm just dumb. And where's Tevin Coleman going? Tevin Coleman is going late, about a round later. Okay, so yeah. Royce Freeman is the pick at running back if I go running back. At wide receiver, Michael Crabtree, Devin Funches, Pierre Garçon. If you guys are as frustrated with this as I am, we're on the same page because this is very frustrating being stuck. There are people who draft like this. I couldn't. Michael Crabtree, Devin Funches, Pierre Garçon are the highest rated guys on the website. Let's see what the highest rated guy is via average draft position. So Michael Crabtree, Devin Funches, Pierre Garçon. Michael Crabtree in the seventh. Who's anyone going above him? Where's Devin Funches and Michael Pierre Garçon going? Devin Funches about a round later. Pierre Garçon much later than that. So I guess it comes down to, do I want Michael Crabtree or do I want Royce Freeman? Royce Freeman, we're hearing it might be a full-fledged committee. Michael Crabtree, the number one receiver in Baltimore, which not necessarily a great place for wide receivers, but he'll also be my third receiver as opposed to my fourth running back. So, we have seen viable number two wide receivers come out of Baltimore, especially when they are the focal point of the offense. Joe Flacco should be healthy finally. If not, Lamar Jackson is there. They're going to do some trick plays. Michael Crabtree fits better than than anyone did last year. Or Royce Freeman, a guy who we're hearing is going to be in a full-fledged committee. I don't like that. It is the sixth round, so I could get my brain around Royce Freeman, but I'm going to go ahead because logically I think I would probably go Pierre Garçon or I would go Marshawn Lynch here if I'm being completely honest, but I'm not allowed to based on the rules of this exercise. So I'm going to go Michael Crabtree. I'm going to get my third wide receiver. Give me some balanced depth so I'm not skewing one way or another as we move further into this draft, since clearly I need to be able to play the balance game as we move forward. Drew Brees did go. Greg Olsen, Kirk Cousins, Devin Funches, and Robbie Anderson. Really? I mean, we're hearing that there might not be any legal ramifications. The charges were dropped, but he's probably still going to face some sort of suspension. So in the sixth round, I mean, basically a seventh-round pick, I don't know. That still feels kind of high to me. Let me see. This is kind of a side tangent here. Where's Robbie Anderson going on average draft position? Robbie Anderson is... Okay, he's normally going as a 10th round pick, so that is quite the reach. Okay, so I'm not crazy here. Tevin Coleman went with the top of the 7th. Ben Roethlisberger, Carlos Hyde, Matthew Stafford, and Corey Davis. There's a guy who's kind of been overlooked. All right, so now I'm still looking at Royce Freeman, so obviously he's going to be my choice if I go running back, or Pierre Garçon, Chris Hogan, Sammy Watkins are the most logical wide receivers, so that shows me, I think, let me find Pierre. I'm pretty sure Pierre Garçon is the obvious choice here. Chris Hogan, Sammy Watkins. Where's Sammy Watkins going? Sammy Watkins is going... Where's Sammy Watkins? Oh, no, Sammy Watkins is going much higher. Okay. Oh, Sammy Watkins is actually going ahead of Michael Crabtree. Well, I guess that locks it in. I have to go Sammy Watkins. All right, so, oops, that was a blunder in the exercise. One spot ahead of Michael Crabtree on average, but he's so much further down this website's draft list of the players that were available, I overlooked it. So I guess we'll go wide receiver because I don't want Royce Freeman anyway. If Royce Freeman is here with my next pick, I will easily snipe him in the 8th. That's beyond. I mean, 7th, I honestly am okay with taking him right now, but kind of have to make it right. So I'm going to go Sammy Watkins. You guys understand. Julius Thomas went. Chris Thompson did. Oh, Chris Thompson snuck up there and went. Will Fuller, Pierre Garçon, Jimmy Garoppolo, Marshawn Lynch was drafted. 8th round, Jacksonville Jaguars defense. That's unbelievably high for a defense. Royce Freeman went with the 2nd pick in the 8th round. Marlon Mack, Chris Hogan, Cooper Kupp, and Duke Johnson. Now I am saying I desperately need a running back. I have drafted 2 wide receivers in the last 2 rounds. We're in the 8th round. I need a 4th running back before I can start thinking about quarterbacks, tight ends. I'm not thinking kicker defense. If you're new to the show, welcome to I don't want to say professional fantasy football, but definitely advanced tactics. You don't grab kickers and defenses in single-digit rounds. That's just ludicrous. So at the running back position, there is C.J. Anderson, Isaiah Crowell, Jamal Williams, Aaron Jones, Kerryon Johnson, Nick Chubb. Those are the top guys that are out there. Interesting that both the Green Bay running backs. Now, there was a report we didn't talk about, which was talking about did we talk about that on Tuesday? I don't think so. That Ty Montgomery was going to be a much bigger part of this offense than people were expecting, and I just don't see it. I still think that this is Aaron Jones's and Jamal Williams' offense. Aaron Jones, look, I know there's all these reports out there saying that he's going to probably win the job. He's the much more explosive of the two, but Jamal Williams is better in pass coverage. He was much more consistent. He is very good. He looked good out there. He put up really good totals in yardage, not as much of an injury risk. Jamal Williams, I think, is the much better, well-rounded running back, and I think the better pass protection running back is going to be on the field a lot more when they're going to want to protect their franchise player, which is their quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. So I think this is going to be just a full-fledged committee. I don't know if anyone's going to really emerge here, which makes this very murky. I really do like C.J. Anderson here, but obviously in a committee as well. But I expect him to be the first, second down back in Carolina. I think Christian McCaffrey, who's going many, many rounds earlier, is going to be a third down change of pace and kind of a Swiss Army knife type guy. I expect to see Christian McCaffrey splitting out wide and doing all types of crazy things. I think C.J. Anderson is going to be that I formation back they're going to run very consistently and in short yardage. So let's see who who I'm kind of forced into taking here. So let's see. There's C.J. Anderson. He's normally going around now in the 8th. Okay, Nick Chubb on average is going about 3 spots higher, so I have to go Nick Chubb. Any of these guys going ahead of them? Okay, Isaiah Crowell is still on the board. He's going even higher. Tariq Cohen is going even higher than that as the first pick in the 8th. Let's see. Kerryon Johnson is still available. Aaron Jones and Kerryon Johnson as the 5th, 6th pick. So I guess that locks me in to Kerryon Johnson, a guy who, I mean, if you followed the show at all, I really, really like. I know there's the argument, and just so you guys know everything that's going on, if you're new to the show, welcome. We talk fantasy football here. Surprise. Kerryon Johnson is the guy that we are anticipating, maybe not to start the season, but we are anticipating to be the main running back in Detroit. But there are so freaking many running backs in Detroit that it's really hard to say what his volume in this offense is going to be this season. We think that he's going to come in and replace Amir Abdullah as kind of that lead back, but they have LeGarrette Blount there for short yardage and goal line. They have Theo Riddick there and Zach Zinner, who can do a lot of pass-catching stuff. They have Dwayne Johnson there, who can also kind of really move the chains in short yardage. I think Kerryon Johnson and Amir Abdullah are both those. They can do everything well, and I think they'll be the ones that are on the field when they don't want to tip their hands, and because he's young, he's going to have to earn playing time. But if it all falls his way, he could be a lead back that you're getting in the 8th round here. And maybe not a high floor, but he has the potential of having a high ceiling if he's able to produce on the level that we think that he can. So 8th round, 4th running back, flex option, bye week fill in, and I can just stash him until I see how it plays out. All right, the gods of the average draft position have spoken, and Kerryon Johnson is now on my team. Behind him went Delaney Walker, the Los Angeles Rams, Marquise Goodwin, Tariq Cohen. I almost said Turok because of if anyone follows fantasy circles, you know where I got that from. And Randall Cobb. So, let's see. Randall Cobb is still going as a very good value. I really like Randall Cobb as having a reemergence this season. If he can stay healthy, of course. 9th round, we have Kelvin Benjamin, Emmanuel Sanders, Devontae Parker, Jamison Crowder, I almost said Jameis Winston, and Isaiah Crowell, who did go. So now I have 4 running backs. I have 4 wide receivers. So I can do one of a couple things here. I can get a high-end tight end, of which there are a few out there, which I know some of you are screaming at me to do. Normally, I wouldn't be doing that because there's a lot of guys I really like that are still available at running back and wide receiver. I can go quarterback here, so I'm going to leave this, for the sake of this exercise, to the gods of average draft position. I'm going to see what the highest-rated player is that's out there if this was a linear list. So at tight end, we have Kyle Rudolph, Trey Burton. Let me see where those guys are going. Let's see, what color are tight ends on this website? So Kirk Cousins, Matthew Stafford. Okay, where's Matthew Stafford? Is he still out there? I'm sorry, I'm kind of rambling. I'm trying to line up lists. I think Matthew Stafford is gone. So he's the highest. Who's the highest quarterback? Highest quarterback, Derek Carr, Ben Roethlisberger, Phillip Rivers. Okay, so I think Phillip Rivers is the guy right now if I was to go quarterback. Let me just double check, see who's been taken. Yep, Stafford's gone. Garoppolo's gone. Let me display who's been taken. Ben Roethlisberger is gone. Derek Carr. Where's Derek Carr? Has Derek Carr not been drafted? Because he's actually the next highest rated. So Derek Carr, if I was to go quarterback, because he is currently going as the 9th pick in the 10th round, which, I mean, we're in the 9th round, so that's not good value. At tight end, let me see, Kyle Rudolph, Trey Burton. Which one of these guys are out there to be taken? Kyle Rudolph in the 7th, so if I'm looking at one of those two positions, I'm going tight end. And that'll be going higher than any of the remaining running backs or wide receivers. Let me just triple check. Yes. All right, so the gods of ADP have spoken, and I'm apparently going to draft Kyle Rudolph here, which is, I think, early, but Kyle Rudolph with Kirk Cousins there could be, oh man, he could be nasty. Kirk Cousins likes his tight ends. So Kirk Cousins is not on my team. Kyle Rudolph is on my team. I have my tight end, and now I don't have to think about tight ends anymore. C.J. Anderson went with the next pick. Marquise Lee, Allen Hurns. There's Allen Hurns. Man, I wanted him, but based on that ADP, I wasn't allowed to take him. That's why this exercise is frustrating. That's why we tell you guys to mock draft, because you can experience a lot of different things. Don't do these things live for the first time. So Nelson Aguilar, Jamal Williams, and Aaron Jones. So they went back to back. Nobody knows what to do with Green Bay running backs. Jamal Williams went first, though, which, I mean, based on what we're hearing, is not the right call, but I would personally really like to have Jamal Williams on my team. I think he's going to be pushed down a lot of your draft boards if anyone's paying attention. Let's see. Excuse me, big yawn. Top of the 10th, we have Chris Carson, running back out of Seattle. Deshaun Jackson, interesting. The Vikings defense, Calvin Ridley, ooh, there's a rookie. Nick Chubb, and Deonta Foreman of Houston. So, again, I still have Phillip Rivers at quarterback, which I know a lot of you are probably thinking, just grab your dang quarterback. And I have to say, based on what's out there at running back, not loving the value for some of these guys. We're looking at players like Theo Riddick, LeGarrette Blount, Bilal Powell. None of these guys were expecting to be starters or see a majority of their offense. There's some guys later on that could be sneaky picks, but I would definitely want them as late-round upside picks. Wide receiver, Sterling Shepard is out there, which I like. Des Bryant, who doesn't have a team. Rashard Matthews, who I like. Kenny Stills, who I like. Okay, I like Kenny Golladay, who I like. All right, there's a lot of wide receivers out there. So, Phillip Rivers, Andrew Luck. How many teams have taken? I'm the only team that hasn't taken a quarterback. So I'm going to run the risk that a quarterback's not taken here. I'm going to grab one of these wide receivers, I think. So let me see where these guys are going. Let's see. Devontae Parker, did he go? Okay, he went. I don't have to go with him. Let's see. Where's Sterling Shepard going? Sterling Shepard's not going to the 11th? Wow. Really? Why are people sleeping on him so much? And it looks like everyone else that is ahead of him has already been taken. Martavis Bryant, I think, was already taken, wasn't he? I don't want... Can I break... No, Martavis Bryant is out there. No! I don't want to take Martavis Bryant. By the rules of this game, I have to take Martavis if I go wide receiver here. And please let someone else be ahead of him. Nelson Aguilar, did he go? Nelson Aguilar, where are you? I hope the suspense is building. Oh, yep, Nelson Aguilar is gone. So I'm still locked into Martavis Bryant, who is facing probably a 1-year suspension. So that's not smart drafting on my point. Yeah, everyone else that is ADPs are higher than him are already gone. So I have to go... Oh, man. I have to go Martavis Bryant if I go wide receiver, guys. All right, so with that, I'm going to lock Phillip Rivers because Andrew Luck's out there. I really want Andrew Luck. I'm a believer. I know that that's crazy, and I shouldn't be, and I really don't have to be because I could always drop him. But, yeah. Okay, yep, I'm going Phillip Rivers. Sorry, guys. Phillip Rivers on my team. I'm not drafting a guy who I know is going to possibly be suspended for the full year. Sterling Shepard went with the very next pick. Then it was Des Bryant, and then Martavis Bryant. Sweet, I don't have to draft. I can draft wide receiver again. Peyton Barber, Spencer Ware. Top of the 11th, Trey Burton, Kenny Stills, Jordan Reed, James White, and Corey Clement. So I have my quarterback. I have my tight end. I'm looking for 3 bench spots, kicker, defense. All right, so... I'm still looking at the same running back group, so I'm going to switch back over to wide receiver. And there's still plenty of guys that I like. A couple guys I like are gone, but Rashard Matthews, I think, is still going to see a large amount of this offense, a revitalized and I think much better offense this year. And we've seen him be very good in the past. Corey Davis, obviously, there. He's going to be the sexy name that everyone's going to want. Everyone's going to forget about Rashard Matthews. I think he's going to be a nice, here we are, late-round sleeper. Josh Doxson, a name that I don't really want. Cameron Meredith, I could get behind Cameron Meredith, but I would want him a little bit later than this because it's just a scary proposition. Kenny Golladay and DJ Moore, both guys that I really would like to have on my team. Kenny Golladay, mini Megatron. He is going to be the big red zone target that I think they're going to be using heavily this year in Detroit, especially with Eric Ebron being gone. Ooh, but he's probably not going till much later in ADP. Let's see. Yeah, Kenny Golladay is not going to the 13th round, guys. Why are people sleeping on Kenny Golladay? All right, where's Rashard Matthews? Rashard Matthews is going even later. What is happening? All right, so that means I'm stuck with DJ Moore, Cameron Meredith, or Josh Doxson. Cameron Meredith is going higher. Brandon Marshall is going higher than all these guys. Has Brandon Marshall been drafted? Does that mean I have to draft Brandon Marshall? Kenny Stills, there he is. Oh, no, but he was drafted. Dang it. So who's going to save me here? Marquise Lee? Did Marquise Lee get drafted? Oh, no, he did get drafted. Dang it. Okay, so it looks like I'm going. Let me double check that Brandon Marshall is actually out there. We're doing it live. Okay, Brandon Marshall is out there. He's not going till much later in drafts, according to this website. Michael Gallup. He's still available. He's going higher. Did he get drafted already? Did I say his name? Anybody? I wish that this was live so you guys could hear me. I know this is riveting radio. Michael Gallup. Okay, so Michael Gallup is... Okay, Michael Gallup is available. He is the highest available wide receiver, a guy who we think could win the number one job in Detroit, in Dallas. In Detroit, jeez. So yeah, he's gonna be the guy that I draft here because I'm done. I'm done at wide receiver. That's my wide receiver core. I'm gonna go running back heavy now. So let's see. I can close out quarterbacks, tight ends, and wide receivers. At running back, I'm looking at Theo Riddick and LeGarrette Blount, both guys who are going to be backing up a guy I already have. So I can I avoid that? Giovanni Bernard, Doug Baldwin, Samaje Perine, Latavius Murray. Well, there's a lot of names here that have good upside, but there's a lot of sleepers much further down the list that I would much rather have. So Giovanni Bernard's going on average in the 13th. Bilal Powell going even... Wait, Bilal Powell got drafted, didn't he? Yeah, he's gone. Okay. So Giovanni Bernard, normally a 13th round pick. I'm drafting in the 12th. That's not great value. Where is the Detroit Lions running backs going? Let me swap my view really fast. So I'm just looking at running backs. Okay. So if I follow this very strictly, Latavius Murray, he's still out there, right? I said his name. Latavius Murray is going on average in the 11th. Yeah. Looking at this list, it looks like I'm going to be going Latavius Murray here. I don't see any of the... Oh, wait, no. LeGarrette Blount is going on average in... Wow, LeGarrette Blount is going on average in the 8th round, and he'd be a handcuff for me, which is, I guess, what you want to do at this point. Where's Theo Riddick going? Try and get an idea of the spread here. Detroit, running back... Okay, he's going undrafted right now. So it looks like I am stuck going... It looks like I'm stuck going LeGarrette Blount. Did Rex Burkhead go? Did I already say Rex Burkhead? I have to have said Rex Burkhead by now, right? Yeah, I have to have. Tariq Cohen. Okay, so yeah, based on average draft position, I am going to be drafting running back and handcuff for my own team, LeGarrette Blount. All right, so there's some depth. And now, before the runs start, I'm going to grab my quarterback and quarterback. Gee, why can't I talk? My defense and my kicker. So, these are things that... Do I have to still stick with ADP for these? Do I? So at kicker, it's Greg Zuerlein or Justin Tucker. The kickers haven't started going yet, so I'm gonna start the run there. Steven Gostkowski. What? What? Okay, no, they're going at the same value. So does that mean? Oh no, they're not. So I have to go Greg Zuerlein, Los Angeles Rams kicker over Justin Tucker. What is this? I hate everything. Okay, so Greg Zuerlein is now on my team. I've got my kicker. It's coming back around to me. I'm gonna grab my defense. Bunch of defenses are starting to go off the board. Let's see. Baltimore Ravens are the highest one on the website. Let's see what the average draft position tells me I should do. According to this, the Ravens defense isn't even being picked. Really? How are people overlooking that? Let me have things displayed. So, all right, so Jags are the number 1 on average. Rams are the number 2 on average. They're both gone. Vikings number 3 on average. They are gone. Number 4 is the Houston defense, which is gone. Number 5 on average is the Chargers defense. Really? People are high on the Chargers this year? I mean, I knew that, but I didn't know they were going that high. And I don't... Oh, yeah, okay, no, the Chargers defense is gone. Number 6 is the Eagles defense, which is gone. Number 7 on average is the Broncos defense, which is gone. Number 8 on average is the Carolina Panthers defense. So I guess that's the defense I have to take because they are available. So, all right, I have the Panthers defense, and now I have to fill my last bench spot. All right, so I'm going to say screw the exercise because I'm taking way too long here. Do I want Wayne Gallman, DeMarco Murray, Matt Breida, Josh Doctson, Dwayne? Yeah, it's going to take me way too long to look these up. I'm going to grab a backup running back. I'm going to grab, just to give this out if you're Mr. Irrelevant, because this is a guy I'm going to drop anyway. Let's get Buck Allen. Buck Allen has as good as argument as any to get the starting crack at the running back position in Baltimore. My grade, based on this website, based on average draft positions, which I think are more important than you little website, is a C-, which means I probably did pretty darn good. All right, guys, so let's recap this team. It's not a pretty team. It's not a team that I would normally draft, but my team, and you guys can tell by the gaps in silence and me thinking out loud that this is all real and all raw. I did this live. My team is quarterback Phillip Rivers. At running back, I have Alvin Kamara. I have Derrick Henry. I have, let's see, who else do I have? I have at the flex position Lamar Miller. I have Kerryon Johnson. I have LeGarrette Blount and Javorius Buck Allen. At wide receiver, I have Devonta Adams, Brandon Cooks. I have Sammy Watkins, Michael Crabtree, and Michael Gallup. So I think that's 6 and 6, or maybe it should be 6 and 6. At kicker, tight end, I have Kyle Rudolph. Kicker, I have Greg Zuerlein. And then I have the Panthers defense. So my starting lineup, to recap, because that's kind of confusing, is Phillip Rivers at quarterback. At running back, I have Alvin Kamara, and I have Derrick Henry. At wide receiver, I have Devonta Adams and Brandon Cooks. At my flex position, I have Lamar Miller. At my tight end, I have Kyle Rudolph. At kicker, Greg Zuerlein. And then at defense, the Carolina Panthers defense. So my initial gut reaction to this team is I don't love it. I mean, I did my best to skew towards players that I wanted. There's a lot of guys that I really like on this list, but this is a very... There's a lot of speculation on this team. There's very little certainty. I mean, obviously, Phillip Rivers, I think, is pretty safe. Alvin Kamara, we should know what's going to happen there, but the situation's a little up in the air. Derrick Henry, we don't know exactly how that's going to play out. Devonta Adams, we don't know how that's exactly going to play out because we're expecting a bigger bump in volume. But let's not forget that Jimmy Graham's in the house, and Jimmy Graham is a red zone monster. Brandon Cooks in a new situation. Kyle Rudolph in a new situation with a new quarterback. Lamar Miller, I like a lot. I think he was a great value. I don't love the Panthers defense or Greg Zuerlein as my kicker, especially when Justin Tucker was available. And then bench, I have a lot of upside and a lot of guys I feel comfortable plugging and playing. I don't love my team. And so I can safely say that if I was to go in with this strategy, I'm not too happy. Now, again, could I win with this team? Could I compete with this team? Absolutely. I think that this team could be competitive. And I think if things break the way that a lot of the narratives are, which is why their average draft positions have them pushed up as high as they're going in many cases, this could be a really sneaky good team. This is a team that I feel like if properly managed and you play the matchups right and things break your way, could easily compete for the playoffs. I don't know if it would be a league winner. But, I mean, your team's never going to look the same come the playoffs anyway because you're going to be doing ad drops, trades. People are going to get hurt. So, to start the season, and we say this all the time. We haven't really been saying this very much because we're not really in draft season yet. We're getting close. You don't win your league at the draft, ladies and gentlemen. You build the foundation. You'll hear us say that a lot. I have a solid foundation here. I've got a lot of guys who are, if they break the right way, I have serious potential, and I have great trading pieces. I have serious depth. I actually have really good depth. I really like the depth on my team, possibly more than I like my starters. Obviously, my starters are my starters for a reason, but I feel like I could really easily use this team to have safe plays certain weeks, play certain matchups, have if it's later in the week and I need a big score to win, I've got a couple guys with high ceilings that if they hit, they could save my weeks. I do like this team. I would play with this team just to see how it plays out, but I don't know if I would draft this team if I was drafting freely of my own will, and that's kind of what's interesting about it. So, I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts are, everybody. I know this was not the most fluid show I've ever done because it was raw, on my own, on the fly. But I don't want to edit it down either because I want you guys to see kind of the thought process that goes into everything. So that's kind of what we do. Comment down below. What would you have done differently? Because I have to tell you, I would have done a lot of things differently if I had my say. But I didn't. I had to go with ADP because I was the exercise. Let me know what you would have preferred to do at which places because this could be a very interesting debate and conversation. We could really talk about this a lot, I think. And, yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on this team. Would you be comfortable going into the season with Phillip Rivers, Alvin Kamara, Derrick Henry, Devontae Adams, Brandon Cooks, Lamar Miller, Kyle Rudolph, Greg Zuerlein, and the Panthers as your starting lineup? Then on your bench, Michael Crabtree, Sammy Watkins, Kerryon Johnson, Michael Gallup, LeGarrette Blount, and Javorius Buck Allen as your bench. Are you comfortable with that team? What would you like to see different? Would you add drop? Would you do what I would probably do if I drafted this team and start bundling these guys together to try and upgrade some of my pieces in trades? You know, what would you guys do? I want to start some conversations. I want to, see what your guys' thoughts are on things because that's why we do what we do. We get a lot of questions for Dynasty this time of year, but let's talk some honest draft thought process right now. And with that, I guess let's get out of here. So we will be back on Tuesday. I don't know if the whole gang will be together, but at least I'll be here. You guys know I'll always be here for you. And we'll be talking some fun things there as well. I have something I want to do, but I'm going to wait and see who's here to see if it's worth doing. So there's a little bit of suspense for you. Not really a teaser because I didn't hint anything, but some suspense for you. And we'll be back on Tuesday. So everyone have a great weekend. Make sure you follow the show wherever you're listening. Rate, review. Helps us out a lot. Really, guys, really, please. Give us a rating, give us a review. I know you don't want to tell your friends about us because you feel like we might be your little resource that you're holding on to, and we understand that. And some of you, I understand you can't maybe necessarily go to Patreon and help support us financially, but if you want to help the show grow, give us a rating, give us a review. Helps us out a ton. I mean, if it comes off like we're begging, then fine, we're begging because it helps a lot, and we greatly appreciate that, guys. We're here for you, and that's something that can help us out a lot. Submit your questions. Give us your feedback on Twitter at the FF Fanatics, or individually, I'm at G Palmer FFF. And guys, we will see you on Tuesday. Another show 223. We're getting close to a landmark 225. Maybe we'll have to come up with some sort of giveaway. I've got some things in mind, but we got about a week to figure that out. All right, guys, have a great weekend. I'll see you then. Take care, everyone. Bye. Life